पैसा है अब 5 गुना बेहतर अपने 4.2.1
Yes, good evening, my dear friends. Welcome to the session once again. Today we are going to discuss the biogeography. Today is the third session, okay? Third session. For the benefit of all, let me tell you, under our biogeography discussion, we are going to take up the soil, important characteristics, and also their distribution. At the same time, we are going to see a plant and animal distribution in different locations. At the same time, their conditions. What are the important conditions which give rise to different distribution of plants and animals on the earth's surface? Okay, we have already covered 2 sessions already. Today we will be conducting the third session. Clear? Now, let's wait for some more learners to join in. But as we wait for some more learners to join in, let me just give you some information from the Unacademy platform. But even before telling you the information from the Unacademy platform, let me tell you, I have a plus course under Unacademy platform. Also, I have a special session under our Unacademy platform. In this plus course, I am teaching in great detail regarding the physical, human as well as the Indian geography. If you are interested, you can come and join me there. Under the special session, now I am discussing the geography of India through map, which is absolutely free. You can search by my name in the Unacademy app. You will find, you can join me there. I start this special session from 7:30 to 8:30 every evening. Okay. Now, under the Unacademy platform, we have different important features, thereby making the session very interactive. Example, we have a facility or a feature known as raise hand. Okay, raise hand, whereby the learners will raise their hand. I will accept the request and the learner will be able to raise the question verbally to me. Therefore, it becomes very interactive and very efficient. Clear? Under this YouTube, we have certain limitations. The only mode of interaction will be the chat box which is below. Okay, therefore, here it is not so efficient, but under the Unacademy platform, it is very efficient, very smooth, very interesting also. And I also have a lot of different tools whereby I am able to explain to you in a very efficient manner. Okay, therefore you kindly come and join me in the Unacademy platform. But let me give you some important announcement from the Unacademy platform. Resolution to crack this UPSC CSE 2023, we have this introductory offer, that is you get 10% discount. Also you get 3 months free extension, that is 18 months combo pack. You will get in around 70,998, you will save around 8,000. The offer is valid only up to 12th of January, so you kindly you only have few days left. You kindly avail this. Additional benefits will be the books that you will get, the 3 months extension and the test series. Now this book are related to GS section. You will get around 20 GS book specially curated. Okay, 20 GS book specially curated for the UPSC, aligning to the recent trend or the latest trend in the UPSC syllabus, GS syllabus. Therefore, if you can catch hold of this 20 GS book, you don't have to go in search of any topic to any other sections. Clear? Thereby making your preparations very systematic and also in less amount of time. Okay, smart study. Your prelims 2022 is right around the corner, I can say. You only have some few months, that is prelims 2022 will happen on June. Taking this into consideration, the Unacademy platform has come up with comprehensive batch course on GS. It will start on 12th of this month. Kindly enroll for this, like Mission 2022, Expedition 2022. Similarly, if in your roadmap, if you are planning to sit for 2023, you can still enroll for Mission 2023 and Expedition 2023. Here also, if you subscribe for 1 year and above, you will be able to catch hold of these 20 GS books. Clear? Now, let us this month, various optional courses are launching in the Unacademy platform, such as PSIR, Economics, Public Administration, History, Sociology, Geography, Philosophy. Therefore, you kindly enroll to all of these sessions. In Unacademy platform, every Sunday at 11 a.m. there is a Unacademy Compact. In this Unacademy Compact, you get 56 MCQ to be solved in 60 minutes. If you come within rank 1 to 500, okay, 1 to 500, you will get scholarship from a pool of around 4 crores of rupees. Now the percentage of scholarship will vary. That is, if you rank between 1 and 3, the top 3 will get 100% scholarship and others will get 75, 50, 25. You lose nothing, you only get. By attending such a test, you will be able to get an opportunity to self-assess yourself. Okay, why? Because you see here, any competitive exam, for that matter, not only UPSC, it may be a state civil service or it can be other competitive exam in India. It is no longer a university or college exam where you have a pass mark. It is a competitive exam based completely on merit, based on the number of vacancy that is available. Therefore, in order to attempt such a exam, it is very, very important to know at what level of preparation you are as compared to your other co-competitors or your peer group. What is better than attending such a test series? Why? Because this kind of a test series will be attended by your friends only, who will also be appearing for the exam. Clear? And also you will be getting a very attractive scholarship. So what are you waiting for? Kindly enroll. I highly recommend and suggest that you attend. You will gain a lot. You can use my enroll code, that is SUNEP10. Okay, kindly do so. With that basic introduction, let us begin our discussion. Yesterday we ended the session with pozzolization. Okay, pozzolization. Yesterday we end the session with the process of pozzolization. Let us continue today with the claying. Claying is another very, very important process in the soil formation. What we are discussing is, we are discussing the various soil forming processes. We have begun our discussion yesterday with the weathering. Weathering is one of the initial stage in the soil forming processes, and one of the important processes is again the claying. What is this claying? Now, in anaerobic condition, okay, where you have anaerobic condition is where you don't have sufficient amount of air circulation or deficient in oxygen, that is anaerobic condition. Aerobic condition is where you have sufficient amount of oxygen. Anaerobic condition is where you don't have sufficient amount of oxygen. Now, this kind of condition in the soil will be encountered or will be seen in a place like where it is very wet or a waterlogged soil. Now, in this type of a condition, the chemical process which will happen in the soil is reduction. Let us take the example of this iron. Iron will turn from ferric, that is the oxidize, to ferrous, that is the reduction. Say for example, if there is a oxidation that will take place in iron, it will turn into ferric oxide. But if there is a reduction, it will turn into ferrous oxide. Now, this anaerobic condition, which you will find in a wet and waterlogged soil, reduction will take place and it will result in a clay horizon. And this clay horizon, or a clay layer you can say, is nothing but the sticky structureless clay. It is known as clay. And in this anaerobic condition, where it is a waterlogged or a bog soil, or you can say wet soil, where it is waterlogged, special bacteria gets activated which use up the organic matter and resulting in the formation of this sticky structural clay in the process of deficient oxygen content. And in this deficient oxygen situation, a specialized bacteria use up the organic matter and the production of this sticky structureless clay, known as clay horizon, and the process is known as clay. Example, the bluish gray, sometimes bacteriate in situation where soil dries out and oxidize. This particular bluish gray color of the soil is a result of anaerobic condition and resulting in a structureless, sticky structureless clay. But you see here, in a place where you have this waterlogging or a wet conditions, this bluish gray soil will be formed. The importance and the significance of the color of the soil we have discussed yesterday. Therefore, this type of soil will be there. That is, the color is bluish gray. But sometimes, or depending on the season, if in this region, if certain locations becomes dry, then what will happen? Well, oxygenation will take place, circulation of the air, resulting in the oxidation. Therefore, in this area of bluish gray, sometimes you will get a patch of red color also, and that is nothing but the oxidation that has taken place. Clear? Desilication, or it is also known as lateralization. This is another important process in the soil forming. What is this? This desilication or lateralization, you will usually find this in humid tropics. Okay, in humid tropics you will find. How it is? Silica more mobile than iron and aluminium oxide. Therefore, also many of the bases will be removed from the surface of the soil. Now, in a humid tropic, what is the climatic conditions or the precipitations like? In a humid tropic region, precipitation is very high. That is, the rainfall is very high. Therefore, in the process or in a situation when the precipitation or the rainfall is very high, from the surface of the soil, from the top layer of the soil, all the important bases, including the silica, will be removed and will be leached below, leaving behind in the surface iron and aluminium oxide, which are not that much mobile as compared to the silica also. Therefore, resulting in the top layer of the soil rich in iron and aluminium oxide. Such type of a soil is known as feral soil. Clear? Feral soil. And this process of leaching away of silica and also other bases below, leaving behind iron and aluminium oxide rich top layer, is known as desilication or lateralization. Desilication, in a sense, the silica is also removed. That's why the name itself implies that it is desilication or lateralization. Clear? Now, in this humid tropic, yes, I have sufficient amount of vegetations, but you see here, the rate of the rate of chemical reaction also is more in the when you have a higher temperature and moisture content. Therefore, even if you have sufficient amount of vegetations, which means sufficient amount of the supply of the organic matter, in our previous discussion we have already seen how the organic matter is a part and parcel of the soil itself. That is, the organic matter supplied by the leaf or by animal underwent certain kind of decomposition, humus is formed. Okay, after that, further decomposition, they result in the formation of the soil. Therefore, in this region, that is hot tropics or humid tropics, vegetation is sufficient, supply of the organic matter from the leaf or the plant remains is there, but since it is a very warm and humid condition, chemical reaction is also faster, therefore result in rapid decomposition of this organic matter. Therefore, because of rapid decomposition of this organic matter, the final result is the low organic content you will find because of rapid decomposition. Clear? And the feral soil, that is a surface layer of soil rich in aluminium and iron oxide, they are hard lateritic horizon. Okay, and this particular type of soil is not that much suitable for agriculture, but this type of a soil is good for building material. That's why this latter, a term latter, is nothing but the building material or brick in Latin word, brick. Okay, so you can contrast, you see here, you can contrast this process of desilication and lateralization with pozzolization or chiluvation, which we have seen yesterday. In pozzolization also, which you will find number one, the difference between pozzolization and desilication or lateralization is the pozzolization or chiluvation, it is observed in the higher tropics in a very cold temperate latitude, that is near to the tundra, or you can say in the coniferous forest region. Whereas desilication or lateralization you will see in the hot or humid tropic region. That is one. Second, in the pozzolization process, it is the gelating agent which is released by the bacteria feeding on the coniferous needle, resulting in the release of this gelating agent and removing all the important material in the soil, even iron and aluminium, leaving behind the silica rich soil on the top layer, becoming very acidic. So here also leaching is occurring in the pozzolization that we have seen yesterday. But this pozzolization, in the process of pozzolization, it is the gelating agent which is leaching down iron, aluminium and other material, leaving behind silica on the surface, top layer of the soil, thereby turning this particular soil acidic in nature. In this desilication and lateralization, also the leaching is happening. But this leaching is happening because of the rainfall, not because of the gelating agent. Okay, and here the leaching is silica and other bases leaving behind on the surface iron and aluminium rich soil. Clear? So that is the basic difference between pozzolization or diluviation versus desilication and lateralization. Clear? Now, those are the important soil forming processes that we have discussed right from yesterday. Now let us quickly go ahead and see the factors controlling the soil formation. What are the important factors that controls the soil formation? Okay, now at any given soil can be regarded as the product of the interaction of all the factors below, which we are going to see one by one. Although locally one factor may exert a particularly strong influence, all the factors that we will be discussing one by one is important. Okay, factors controlling soil formation. Please be very, very clear. Pozzolization, claying, lateralization, all of those were the processes in the soil forming. Now what we are going to discuss is the factors controlling this soil formation. Okay, number one, parent material. In the soil forming processes, we have seen the weathering. That is, after all, the soil is the outcome of weathering of the parent rock. Therefore, the factors that influence or controls the soil formation is the parent rock. Now you see here, the lasting effect, the parent rock, okay, you see here. Regarding the soil horizon, soil profile we have seen yesterday. Different layers, A00 layer, A layer, A0 layer, A1 layer, A2 layer, so on and so forth we have seen yesterday. We have seen B layer, C layer. Therefore, the parent rock, see influence of the parent rock, let me tell you. A soil coming from some igneous rock, soil coming from, say for example, soil coming from some igneous rock, soil coming from some limestone, soil coming from some other rocks. Okay, so weathering and erosion of this parent rock will determine the type of the rock, the type of the soil. If the soil is formed from the limestone, it will have different characteristics as compared to the soil formed from some other non-limestone rock or some other rocks. Therefore, the soil which is formed from the parent rock has some influence of the parent rock itself. Now, but the influence of the parent material, that is the parent rock from where the soil is formed, is prominent only in the sea horizon. Regarding this horizon which we have seen yesterday already, okay, A00, that is the top horizon, different layers which we have seen. Therefore, you see here, yes, why we are saying that the parent material influence in the soil formation. After all, it is the parent material which is responsible for the formation of the soil after weathering of this parent rock. But it is prominent only in the sea horizon. Why it is so? Let me give you a very short explanation. You see here, yes, the parent rock is responsible for the formation of the soil, but you see here, soil consists of inorganic as well as the organic content. The inorganic are given by the parent rock, I can say. The organic are given by the vegetation which is above this, or it can be different plants and animals. Now, after a layers and layers of soil is formed, on the other part of the soil, the influence of the parent rock may not be that much prominent. On the upper side or on the other layers, other top layers of the soil, the influence of the plant vegetations or the climatic conditions will be more. Okay, as compared to the influence by the parent rock. Therefore, we say that the influence of the parent rock in soil formation is more prominent in the sea horizon. What is this sea horizon? We have already seen yesterday. If you take a column of a soil, it has got different layers depending on the location. Okay, in certain layers, in certain location of the earth, the soil horizon will be very thick. All the layers are well represented. In some other areas, okay, in some other areas, the soil profile or the soil horizon will be very thin. All the layers will not be represented. But whatever the case it may be, the sea horizon, which we have seen yesterday already, it is near to the parent rock. Therefore, the parent rock influence will be more only in the sea horizon. But one other important characteristics of the soil is determined by this parent material, okay, or the parent rock. What are those? The parent rock has a lasting effect only on the texture. The texture of the soil we have already seen regarding that triangle, if you remember. On one vertex you have this silt, on the other you have clay, on the other you have sand. Combination, the ratio of combination of all of this results in different types of soil. Depending on that, you have the texture. Regarding the texture, that is the, see, If you go to a market to buy any cloth, if it is silk, you touch it. If it is cotton, you touch it, you will feel. That is the texture. Okay. So for silt, different size, clay, different size, sand, different size. Sand is bigger, silt is a little bit smaller in size, clay is the smallest one. We have seen the dimension also. So depending on the ratio of their combination, the texture of the soil will be determined. If the parent rock is a sandstone, the texture of the soil will be coarse texture. Okay, means if the parent rock, parent rock from where the soil is derived, if this parent rock is a sandstone, then the soil which is derived from this parent rock will have a texture of coarse. It will be coarse. And fertility, that is the initial base and the nutrient supply, means the parent material or the parent rock has a long lasting effect on the texture and the fertility. Texture because it is the parent rock that is supplying the original material. Okay, later on the organic matter will be added, which is going to influence, but the texture depends on the parent rock. Second is the fertility. Why? Because we have already seen that the soil has organic as well as inorganic. The inorganic initial basis and the nutrient supply is from the parent rock. If it is a limestone, certain initial base and nutrient is supplied. If it is some other rock, in the formation of the soil, certain base and nutrient is supplied. Therefore, the fertility and the texture is determined by the parent rock, which has a lasting effect. If it is a calcareous rock, say for example, then the base, it becomes a base rich soil. Why? Because the necessary bases are given by the calcareous rock, which is acting as a parent rock. Okay, so the influence of parent material is especially on the texture and the fertility of the soil. Example, let us go and see one by one. In the peninsular region you see here, basically the gneiss and the schist rich in ferromagnesium material. In the peninsular India you will find basically this gneiss and schist, these are rich in ferromagnesium material. In a sense, this rock on weathering give rise to a red soil, whose red coloration is due to iron oxide. Because in the peninsular region you will find a rock or a parent material or a rock which are gneiss and schist. They are rich in ferromagnetism, iron is here. Therefore, on weathering of this parent rock, the type of soil that you will get will be red soil, and this red color is nothing but the presence of iron oxide. Example, again, other example, the Katapa and the Himalayan rocks have weathered to give calcareous and argillaceous soil. Okay, Katapa rock, calcareous. Now the Deccan trap, that is a basalt. They are rich. This basalt, that is the Deccan trap, in the Deccan trap region, outflow of molten lava, that is nothing but the basalt. They are rich in this titanium, magnetite, aluminium, magnesium. Therefore, the soil that will derive from this Deccan trap or the basaltic rock will be rich in all of this material. Okay, influencing the fertility of the soil, the texture of the soil. Now, during our discussion of the soil, color, we have already discussed that if a soil is rich in humus, that is the organic content, then the color of the soil will be dark, or you can say black. Okay, if it is light color, then the humus content is less. That we have seen yesterday. But you see here, all the black color of the soil is not necessarily because of the presence of the humus. There are some black color soil which is not because of the presence of the humus, but because of some other reason. And that is one example of that soil is the the black soil in the Deccan region. The black color soil in the Deccan region is due to the presence of titaniferous magnetite. See, in the Deccan region or Deccan plateau, we have this basaltic rock, that is the lava flow, which is rich in titanium, magnetite, aluminum, so on and so forth. Now, the black color of the soil in this Deccan region is not because the black is not because of the presence of the humus, but because of its richness in the titaniferous magnetite, which is an important material in the parent rock itself. That is how the fertility of the soil is determined by the parent rock, also the texture. Plateau soil tend to be coarse grained and less fertile. Why? In the plateau soil, in general, in the Deccan plateau, soils tend to be coarse grained and less fertile. Transported soil, that is glacial drift, alluvium, loess, etc. Clear? This is the reason. Parent material, the influence, factors controlling the soil forming processes, the one is the parent rock. And remember one point, we are going to see many other different factors that controls the soil formation. The point here is very, very important. Okay, any given soil can be regarded as the product of interaction of all the factors below. One is the parent material, which we have seen just now. Now, among all of these factors, which we are going to see one by one, although locally one factors can exert a particularly strong influence, okay, but all in all, you can say it is the interaction of all the factors that we are going to discuss. One we have already discussed, that is the parent material. They interact among themselves to give rise to the final product of the soil or the characteristics of the soil. Second important factor in the soil forming process is the climate. What is this? Climate. How climate influences the soil forming processes. Rate and type of soil formation is determined by the climate. When I talk about climate, it is about rainfall and temperature. The rainfall and temperature, I can say, it is a manifestation of a climatic conditions. Okay. Now, you see here, rate and type of soil formation is influenced by the climate. Because you see here, rate and type of soil formation, okay, which means for the formation of the soil, what you need to do initially, always go back to the basics, very important. For the formation of the soil, what is happening? Weathering is happening. Now, this weathering, I have taken the example of limestone. Depending upon the climatic condition, in the equatorial region or in the tropical region, where you have sufficient amount of temperature and sufficient amount of moisture, the limestone rock is weathered at a very fast rate. The same rock, that is the limestone, when you place this particular limestone in semi-arid and arid condition, what is the outcome? In semi-arid and arid condition, that is the desertic condition, the limestone act as a very hard resistant rock. But the same limestone in the tropical and equatorial region, where you have sufficient amount of moisture and temperature, it is weathered at a very faster rate. So, same rock in different location, the rate of weathering is different. What is the reason? It is the climatic condition. And what is this climate? It is the temperature and the precipitation. Why? Because temperature, precipitation, that is the rainfall. It is nothing but a manifestation of the climate. Right? And why the rate of weathering is important? Because the soil is formed by the weathering of the parent rock. So depending on the rate of the weathering, the rate of soil formation is also determined. Okay? Now, for every 10 degrees centigrade rise in the temperature, the speed of chemical reaction increased by a factor of 2 to 3. Therefore, in a region where you have higher temperature, the rate of chemical reaction is more. Now, this is applicable not only in the weathering of the parent rock, but also for the supply of organic matter in the soil formation. The organic matter, one source of supply of organic matter is the leaf from the tree. After falling down, it will have to undergo decay and decomposition. Now, the rate at which this will decay and decompose depends upon the temperature, because the chemical reaction, for every 10 degrees centigrade rise in temperature, the speed of chemical reaction increases by a factor of 2 or 3. Now, this organic matter, ultimately the humus is also going to become a part and parcel of the soil itself. Therefore, the rate and type of soil formation depends on the climatic condition. Example, in the cool climate, that is, slow action of bacteria will take place. Therefore, the soil forming process will be slower. But in the tropics, that equatorial or tropical region, temperature is higher, so faster chemical reaction resulting in faster rate of soil formation. Therefore, in a cool climate or in a higher tropics, the soil horizon will be thinner. But in the tropics, the soil horizon will be thicker. And what is soil horizon? Soil horizon is nothing but the different layers of the soil. Clear? Now, the downward movement, that is Petalsphere, that is oxide of aluminium and iron. Where you will find this? In a place where the precipitation, that is the rainfall, is less. Okay, then when the precipitation is, in a place where the rainfall is higher than the evapotranspiration, you will have Petalsphere, that is downward movement will take place. But in a place where the precipitation, that is the rainfall, is less as compared to the evapotranspiration, then you will have a soil that is of petacles, that is calcium carbonate rich soil system. That is also an influence put forward by climate. Why? Because rainfall or precipitation is a function of climate, I can say. Clear? I hope that is clear. So in a place where you have a very high intensity of rainfall, you will have a Petalsphere type of a soil that is rich in aluminium and iron oxide. The similar process of this lateralization or desilication that we have seen. Okay, but in a place where evapotranspiration is more as compared to the precipitation, such a location you will find in a arid and semi-arid condition. When the rainfall is less, therefore, because of capillary action from the underneath or beneath the soil surface, the material comes up by the process of capillary action to the surface, in the process taking up the salt from below to the surface. Such type of a soil is known as petacles. They are calcium carbonate rich soil. Clear? Next process is the biotic factor, that is the supply of humus and how the rain are intercepted, whether they are exposed to erosion or protect from the erosion, the microorganism, okay, that is the bacteria which is present, the mesofauna and the nutrient cycle, all of these factors, how they influence in the soil forming processes. This we will continue tomorrow. We'll end the session here today. We will continue with this biotic factor tomorrow, along with the classification of soil in different parts of the world. Clear? Anyway, thank you all for your patience and cooperations. We will meet again tomorrow at the same time. If you have any doubt regarding any point that we have discussed today, you can kindly go ahead and ask me tomorrow. Okay? Anyways, we'll end the session here. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Take care and good night.